We have breaking news. Let's get right to it.
Past 24 hours, we've seen 34 new cases of COVID-19 here in Utah.
Following breaking news out of Utah, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hitting just after 7 a.m. local time, about 10 miles west of Salt Lake City.
We need 100 to 150,000 tests a day.
Yeah. What is going on in the world? Isolation20 Podcast. I'm DreRawka. Welcome to episode 67 of the Isolation20 Podcast. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you're having the day that you deserve. I know I am. It's been a cheery one, if you will. Over the weekend, went and seen my father-in-law in his new home. So happy for him. He got a new home in the city of Ogden, Utah, and it is it's a nice house. You know, we pulled up, and mind you, the city of Ogden is about 40 minutes away from where I stay, right? So kind of a journey, but in the family, we loaded up the car, made the nice journey to Ogden, and hung out with him for a little bit. He just got some new carpet in, and he's on a bunch of land. The cool thing about Ogden is that they have a lot of land, right? It's not filled up with a bunch of subdivisions, even though it's on its way. So my folks in Ogden, it is coming. The revolution will be televised. So we get there, and of course, you got to take off your shoes. Got the new carpet. You don't want to be the first ones to mess up the carpet. So I'm extra strict on the kids. No Cheez-Its in the front room. No, your juicy juice. No, your Welch's. Get it out of here. Go in the kitchen. Better not be in the front room with that joint. So the kid's upset because I don't have too many rules when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? Because material things to me unless it's like something for the pod. If they come to the studio, sit on your hands. Don't be touching that microphone. Don't be touching the cameras, right? But if we're at the crib, like, it's whatever. Like, we could always get a new couch, or we can always get a new carpet, right? Hey, it's all right. You can't take it with us. Now, you might be saying, well, Dre, you can't take those cameras and that audio equipment with you either. I could try. That might be in my will. Bury me with my equipment, or make my casket out of everything in the studio. I got a couch, so that can be the nice little padding. I'm dead, so I don't need padding. But maybe we get creative. I think getting creative with how we can build the casket might be dope. It might be fun. So I'm not strict on my kids, but we were at Grandpa's house. And Grandpa's house is nice. It was built in 1950. I ain't gonna lie, I had to use the restroom and do a number 2, but because it was made in 1950, I was like, I don't know how the plumbing is. So I felt not to take that risk. So I held it. Maybe TMI, but I held it. Because I don't want those problems. I don't want to be like, hey, where's your plunger? Well, what do you need the plunger for? Don't ask questions, just hand it over. You don't want to be that guy. I know we've probably all been there before where it's an emergency. You gotta go, right? But you gotta be strategic about what you do, right? You gotta be strategic because you don't want to be the one to plug up that toilet. You don't want to be the one that causes everybody to come in the bathroom to try to help you, right? Oh, I can't get it out. Shoot, can you? And they sitting there plunging it, right? You got shit water splashing up everywhere. Gets in grandma's eye. Now grandma has pink eye. So when we have the family photo, it's like, what happened to grandma's eye? She got Dre shit water in her eye. Not the way I want to spend family time, but it happens, right? It happens. Maybe it builds family character, right? Maybe around the Christmas tree, 'twas the night before Christmas, and remember when Dre splashed poop water in mom and grandma's eye? Remember that? Yeah, it's tough times when you're with the family. I was able to help out my father-in-law, though. He's a NASCAR fan, and he was like, man, we just got Xfinity. I can't seem to get it to work, and there's the race tomorrow. And I was like, I don't know, man. The Xfinity guy always hooks it up when he comes to the crib, so I don't have no experience with this. But the wifey was like, I believe in you, baby. I believe in you. Here's the remote. I don't know if she really thought that, or more or less she didn't want to do it, so she just kind of threw me the remote. So she literally alley-ooped me an obligation. I was obligated to get this Xfinity up. Why? Because I could be the hero, right? I could be the hero of the day. You know, when my father-in-law is watching that race and he's watching, Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace and who else? Another racer. Dang. Kurt Wallace, Bubba Wallace, George Wallace, all the Wallaces. When he's watching them go around, left-hand turn, and he's hitting that Coors like, and he's drinking that America. Yeah, he's feeling real good. He's gonna sit back on that couch and he's like, I wouldn't have this without my young son-in-law, Dre. He did this. He helped me. Made me feel good. Got his Xfinity up. I was able to program it up and real good. And so he got to watch his race. Had some Domino's pizza. Probably the best Domino's pizza I've ever had in my life. So delicious. And now, I love me a good pie. I'm not a Pizza Hut kind of guy because I worked for Pizza Hut. I worked for Pizza Hut for like 5 years. I did a short stint. It was like 3 years. I worked at Pizza Hut. And at Pizza Hut, we used to make whatever we wanted, right? We used to get fancy with it. I'd go to Smith's because I worked at the one on 45th and 9th East for all my Utah local folks. And man, we would go to the Smiths and we would pick up wild ingredients. I'd make peanut butter and jelly pizza. I'd make dessert pizzas. I'd make a taco pizza with some refried beans and chorizo. And man, it was lit. It was lit. But I got tired of pizza, right? So I didn't do it for a while. And then we dabble. We ain't got kids, man. We dabble. But this one right here, the Domino's in my neighborhood, man, it was trash compared to whatever Ogden got going on at that Domino's, man. Take my hat off to you. Y'all killed that pie. So good. Yeah, man, good times in Ogden with the family. My kids, such good kids, man. I love my kids. Makes me realize like how much family means, especially with events like the earthquake in Turkey. If you haven't heard, really bad earthquake and aftershocks in Turkey. Right now, the death toll is at 44,218 people. Damn. It's a crazy death toll. So let's see. In Turkey alone, 44,218 people have died as a result of the earthquake. The country's disaster emergency authorities said on Friday the last death toll in Syria was 5,914. That's via Al Jazeera TV. Man, if you haven't seen these images of this earthquake, maybe save yourself the heartache and don't look at it. But man, when you have these natural disasters, when you have these moments where mass casualties happen, and it's not like, the people of Turkey and Syria, they're no different than us in the United States. I think the difference is that we have engineers, we have people that make, we have earthquake proof, and I'm using quotations right now. Shout out to the YouTube gang looking at me right now. But we have engineers that make earthquake proof buildings. Now, what does earthquake proof mean? Maybe it sways a little bit, right? When we had an earthquake here in Utah, it was like a 5 point something, 6 point something. And it hit, and you felt it, right? But it felt like our building was on like roller skates because it kind of shifted, right? But the people of Turkey and Syria back east, in the Middle East, they don't have those type of same structures. They don't have the same construction to withstand that kind of stuff. Some of the videotapes show authorities taking the structure and it just crumbling, right? Just taking the brick and it just, disintegrating when they twist it. You should not be able to just twist the brick and it break. So this earthquake, if it was in a more developed area with sound engineering, I'm assuming that there wouldn't have been this many casualties. Now, granted, maybe there still would be, but definitely not 44,000+ people. That's a lot of people. If you think about that, that's like, man, that's a whole small city, right? It's awful. and you see the videos of the children coming out of the rubble, bodies being carried out, crazy stories of people surviving days and being recovered. It gave me flashbacks to 9/11. When 9/11 happened, you would sit and you would be glued to the TV, and you would see stories from CNN. Oh, they just pulled out another casualty, and then all of a sudden there was a business person, and it's like, whoa, like they survived, right? Or you would hear stories of the firemen talking to the people and telling them that hey, stick in there, we're coming, right? Hang tight, we're coming, we're trying as fast as we can. They're going through the same thing right now, and it makes you just, man, hold your kids a little tighter and just be thankful for the privilege of life that we have, and by no means is the life that we live the greatest, right? But it puts things in perspective. And I know it can be triggering for people that have less than, or maybe have been through more. I get it. There's times where some people say certain things, and I'm like, man, you haven't been through nothing, or man, you're sitting here crying about the wrong order on the restaurant, or you're complaining about what your kid wrote on the wall. It's like, man, be thankful you got that wall, right? Just a lot to be grateful for and have a lot of gratitude for, especially during those times, man. Switching gears, right? Because Isolation20 Podcast, while we have fun, while we get serious, we try to keep it light and have a good time here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. Make sure you give a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. And shout out to the good folks over at Hive Music Festival, happening June 9th and 10th at Utah State Fair Park in Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, you might be like, Dre, I know you're broad. I know you like to be broad about things. I am. Don't get me wrong. This is a national a national hyped festival. I got folks in New York texting me like, yo, Dre, what are you guys doing out there? Y'all got a festival called Hive, and it's about to be lit. We're coming out. I got homies in San Diego texting me, yo, Dre, what's going on in Utah? Did they say Kid Cudi? Did they say Post Malone? They say Big Sean. Yeah, they're all coming here. June 9th and 10th, again at the Utah State Fair Park. This one right here, this is round 2 of the Hive Music Festival. Your headliner, Post Malone, Kid Cudi, who just announced new music coming. We'll touch on that here in a minute. Big Sean, Denzel Curry. I'm not going to list everybody, but here's kind of some of them. Glorilla, Joey Badass, Blast, Flatbush Zombies, NLE Choppa. Crazy thing is, a lot of these artists have came to Utah either late last year or early this year already, so they're pretty familiar with the scene. Snow the Product. I'm probably most excited to see Snow, and yeah, I love Snow. Armani White, Absol, Coast Contra, Conway the Machine, Ruby Rose, The Underachievers. Yeah, that's crazy. Murder Beats, and The Alchemist. That's gonna be crazy, man. Live Nation. Y'all did it again. I feel like there needs to be a drop. Live Nation, y'all did it again. So a 2-day GA pass starts at $249. A 2-day GA plus starts at $350. A 2-day VIP starts at $600. Damn. So if you and your girl are going, or you and your like friend or boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever it is, are going, and you're looking at $1,200 plus. A 2-day parking pass, $80. Premium parking pass, $100. It's crazy, man. White Claw is a partner on this joint. June's coming up really quick too. So what a way to start off summer with the Hive Music Festival in Salt Lake City, Utah. Man, Hive Music Festival, or hivefestival.com. You can get your tickets. I mentioned that Kid Cudi he said that he has some music coming. So Kid Cudi tweeted out on February 26th, album this fall, first singles this summer. The new chapter has begun. You're not prepared, man. We've reached a new level. Okay, Cudi. Right after that, the announcement came out. He's coming to Utah. And then he tweets out, February 27th, world tour next year. Count on it. Winky face. Cudi, you're back, huh? You're giving us something new, huh? I'm excited for it, man. I want the Man on the Moon. I don't know if we get that. I don't know if we get the Man on the Moon type of vibe, but that's the Cudi I love. That's the Cudi that I want to see. Cudi has always been one of those artists that just makes you feel, right? At least for me, he gave me that feeling. When I put on Man on the Moon, that album, it takes me right back to that year, that summer, what I felt at that time. And there's timepiece music like that. Rihanna has a lot of those songs, right? Far East Movement has those type of songs. Jay-Z has those type of songs. Drake has those type of songs where it puts you right where you were when you first heard it. I hope that's what we get with this upcoming music from Cudi. I hope he makes us feel. I hope he makes us feel whatever that is, right? I know artists elevate. I know artists evolve, right? Cudi 10 years ago isn't the Cudi that we're probably going to get this on this project, but those same fans that were 10 years ago, or not even 10 years ago, what, about 15 years ago? Those fans should have grown, hopefully, with him, right? We'll see what happens.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
What?
What?
What is that noise? What's that noise? 385-240-4666 is the number for What's That Noise. So we've been using this noise for a while now. Nobody's been able to get it. I got no new guests this week. So I think we're going to reveal what this noise is and then give a new one with Unrestricted coming up this Tuesday. So here is the noise. Let me go ahead and play it for the folks that haven't heard it. So I've heard doing a pin, right? A little push pin. Sounds pretty good. I've heard a lock on the door, right? I've heard ping pong. I've heard turning on and off the game console. They said specifically Nintendo 64, but they said game console. All of those are wrong. It's not any of that. Okay? Take another listen because I think you might be surprised. Actually, you probably won't. As soon as I reveal this, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I get it. So here's the noise one more time. Kind of a difficult noise, I'm not gonna lie. But that noise, are you ready for the big reveal? That noise was literally me turning on and off the light switch. Can you hear it now? Literally me turning on and off the light switch. That's what the noise was. 385-240-4666 is the number for What's That Noise. Or even if you got questions or you want to be a part of the conversation, because this is the People's Podcast, make sure you leave your voice notes anytime, any day, anywhere. I'll play them right here on air. Or you can also leave a text message to get your voice heard on the podcast. What should the next noise be? Maybe throw me some suggestions. I think it has to be something fun, has to be something swift, has to be something not obvious, right? Not obvious. That's coming up. So make sure you tune in Tuesday with Unrestricted.
Hey, Dre, would you calm down for a moment and just let me talk? Just at this point, you're just rambling. All right. What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Will Wonder, and I have a podcast called The Will Wonder Pod. I know, super original name, but I promise you'll love it. We talk sports, we talk music, and generally have some really interesting interviews with people that are doing some really cool things. So make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcast. Once again, that is The Will Wonder Pod. All right, Dre, go on about your business, whatever the fuck you were talking about.
The name says it all.
You know my name.
This is Are You Dumb?
Mama said knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Huh. Mama said knock you out. So Jake Peasy fought Tommy Fury. We all know how the fight went, right? Tommy Fury got the W. Some people thought Jake Paul was gonna win. I was on the fence. As soon as I seen Tommy in the at the weigh-ins when they faced off, I was like, I don't know. I think Tommy got him. I think he's gonna jab him to death. And what happened? The jab came out. So I want to just look at some of these rounds. It was an 8-round fight. Where were they at? They were in Abu Dhabi, right? Maybe Dubai. They were in Abu Dhabi. One of the two. So round 1, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Round by round results. Okay, round 1, Fury 10-9. Round 2, Fury 10-9. So 2018. Round 3, Paul 10-9. Round 4, Fury 10-9. So now 39-37. Round 5, Paul 9-9. Kind of crazy, right? 46-48 now. Fury. Round 6, Fury 9-9. 57-55. Fury. Round 7, Fury 10-9. Total score 67-64. Fury. And round 8, Jake Paul 10-8. By split decision, it was Tommy Fury won. Now, I'm looking at some of the professionals, right? Ryan Garcia saying, yo, Jake put up a good fight. You know what I mean? Tank Davis saying, yo, that dude got the brakes beat off him. Don't come over here with that. Y'all are whack for even saying that just for him getting in the ring and getting paid $30 million was a win, even though he lost. And I get it. I get both sides. In my opinion, Jake Paul took this serious. It wasn't like he just did some MTV celebrity boxing match, right? He wasn't Sticky Fingers. He wasn't Shaquille O'Neal. He's been putting a lot of work in. He's been training, right? He's been dedicating his life to this. And you got to respect somebody that dedicates time and effort into something and shows improvement. He went 8 rounds with a professional boxer. That's crazy, right? He's went rounds and knocked out professional fighters. Now, might not be boxers, but still professional fighters. Athletes that have been training to fight for way longer than him. And for me, I can care less about, what he's doing. He's not my friend. He's not nobody I know. He doesn't even know about me. But if one day we cross paths or whatever, I'm going to tell him like, yo, man, you inspired a lot of kids. You inspired a lot of adults. You motivated these people to get up off their ass to do something. Maybe even to go into their local boxing gym. You brought back excitement to boxing, right? Not to say that other boxers didn't do that already, right? I think Tank, I think Ryan Garcia, I think these kind of guys build that awareness and bring excitement to boxing. But thinking about worldwide spread and celebrity awareness, nobody's done it like Jake Paul in this era. That's simple and plain. Nobody has. And you can't, for me, I don't think that's something you can hate on. You gotta show some type of respect. You might not like the guy, you might not believe in him, you might not have anything to do with him, but at the end of the day, he did something that nobody else was willing to do or able to do, right? It's hard to find a fighter in combat sports, whether if it's MMA, down to jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and boxing, that can also captivate, right? Sometimes you'll be a great boxer, but are super awkward in front of the camera or can't talk, right? Or just not entertaining. Or you are really entertaining, but you can't fight, or you don't have the skills, or your fights are boring, right? It's hard to find both of those things. We've seen it with Conor McGregor. We've seen it with Sugar. We've seen it with Jake Paul, Logan Paul. We've seen it with Mike Tyson. We've seen it with Ali. Ryan Garcia is on his way, I think, being captivating. Tank is a great fighter. I don't enjoy his interviews. So, and I don't think he I think he kind of, because of his out of the ring stuff, I think he kind of shies away from conversating with people in the media and stuff, because let's be honest, the media hasn't been the greatest to him, but there has to be some ownership somewhere. You know what I mean? So do we see Jake Paul come back? I don't know. What does this do? What does this do for the boxing timeline that we thought was going to happen? Does Nate Diaz, is that a fight that we look at? The KSI fight, is that a fight that we're looking at? I don't think so. I don't, maybe KSI more than Nate Diaz. I don't know. Do we see Tommy Fury too? It was a split decision, so there could be a rematch, but I think the selling fight would be KSI or Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz more than KSI, but KSI is a huge celebrity out there in Europe, right? So maybe if you do it overseas, maybe you get more money. Either way, I think those are the two fights that we look at. I don't see a rematch with Tommy Fury. I don't think that's sellable. I mean, it is. He'll make it sellable, but I think he needs to come back. Nate Diaz or KSI, and both of those fights I will buy. Don't play with me. I will. Shout out to Cardi B. She went to Twitter to say community service today till 4 p.m. Just because you're famous doesn't mean you're special. Obey the law. Okay. Then she had the crazy, like these trending boots where they're like camel toe boots. Kind of weird. But Cardi B, she is enjoying her community service time. She's putting things in perspective, right? Sometimes we have these awakening moments. I don't know if it's just to make her PO happy or if she's speaking genuine, but she's like, hey, kids, obey the law and you won't be in this type of trouble, right? But her going through this community service, it has been good for her, she says. Let's see. Community service has been the best thing that has happened to me. Almost like a spiritual journey, because sometimes I leave these centers in tears. That's what Cardi said. She continued, those people that we leave behind, they just need somebody to talk to, a little push. You might be able to change their life forever. That's big. That's big, especially for somebody in her on her level, right? I worry that sometimes celebrities forget that like they have so much influence, right? If Cardi B in this community service, right, in these community centers, if she just puts her arm around one kid or one adult single mom or whatever, and it's just like, hey, like you can grind this out, you'll be fine, you can do it, right? Because you got to remember, like, Cardi B was a grinder too. She was in the strip clubs doing her thing. She wasn't just born with money. She wasn't just born rich. She met the right people, networked the right way, maybe did some grimy stuff, but she came out, right? And I think it's dope when people inspire like that. You know what I mean? Cardi B, man, keep doing your community service. Don't stop the community service. Hopefully you put more money and more opportunities into your community. Keep going. Shout out to Wendy's. Yo, Wendy's chili. How do you feel about Wendy's chili? Do you like Wendy's chili? If so, let's say it's 3:00 in the morning, right? And you're like, damn, I want some Wendy's chili. But Wendy's is closed because they close at 1 or 2, something like that. Well, don't fear, because Wendy's chili in a can is here. That's right. For a 15-ounce can of chili, you can now purchase it on Instacart and many other places. Coming in at a whopping 280 calories per serving, you can get your Wendy's chili in a can today. All right. I had a homegirl, Natalie. She loved Wendy's chili. And I was always like, damn, man. I knew it was her stinking up the damn call center, because she would always go there for lunch. She would get the wild chili and she would put the wild sour cream on it. And I'm like, man, Natalie, I know that was you crop dusting us. God rest the dead, man. But if you want the chili, tell me what it's like. I don't know. Just seeing the Wendy logo on a can and it saying chili, kind of a turn off for me. Not to say I won't try it. I probably will try it. But damn. Wendy's chilling again. I didn't think I would see it. Salute to Kodak Black, man. Kodak Black back in the courthouse. I feel like every 12 months we see Kodak Black in some type of legal issue. I feel I shouldn't say I feel bad. I hate when somebody that has a lot of opportunity, kind of going back to Cardi B, right? Has a lot of opportunity, a lot of influence, and doesn't take advantage of that influence, doesn't take advantage of the position that they're in. Like Kodak, man, you got money, you got influence. Why you do anything illegal? Why? Now, if you say this is how they're somebody's programmed, right? They're just used to being doing criminal activity, or they're just used to having people around them that may have a past. I don't know if we can use that excuse no more, man. Because I'll tell you what, like we all have a past, right? But I also understood that, if I hang around these people that are great people, great humans, but do things that are against the law, and I'm with them and I get caught up, I'm going to be right there with them, right? Not to say I don't care for them or I don't want to be around them, but I also have to tell them straight up, like, I'm not down for illegal activity. At least there's levels to illegal activity, right? And I'm still in a pay-per-view, pirating some music. I might be down for that. You know what I mean? Moving some weight in my car. No, I'm not down for that. You know what I mean? Pulling a little beer run. By the way, if you're in your 30s and your 20s pulling beer runs, you should have went to Job Corps. Should have learned a skill. Stop it. But you need to understand when to step away from certain things and certain people without worrying what they're going to think about you, because people will always have something to say about you. Whether if you're sitting on the corner with those dudes and you're doing dirt, right? There's more to life than just standing on the corner, right? They'll still have something to say. Or if you leave those dudes on the corner and you go up the street to the library to apply for a job, he's too good for us, right? People are always going to have something to say. We only get one life. There's one life, one journey. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to spend time behind bars? Are you going to spend time having anxiety, worrying about certain things that you have no control over? What are you going to do? And if the answer to that is I'm going to stick with people and worry what people think, I feel bad for you. But if the answer is, what? I know I only got one chance, only got one time to live on this earth. I'm not going to worry what people think. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to try to live it the righteous, right way, whatever that means. Then you're probably going to go further, right? I just think that there's more to life than worrying what people think. And to see Kodak Black in this position, man, it just sucks, man, because there's more to life. There's more to life than dealing with legal issues, and it's probably really expensive. But for this man to ask the judge for a Jolly Rancher on his way out was wild. And he's wearing an Easter outfit too. Gotta respect the grind. Gotta respect Kodak's charm. Hey Alexa, can you show me a new barber?
Don't worry, I got you.
Boogie Down Barbershop in Taylorsville is now open. Anything from gentleman's cuts, taper, fade, or if you want to treat yourself to a nice hot towel shave, Boogie Down Barbershop has you covered. Cuts for men and kids. Book your appointment today at boogiedownbarbershop.com.
And now the movie review segment you didn't ask for. It's down in front.
Knock at the Cabin. My man Dave Bautista's back on the big screen, but not as a Marvel superhero. No, he's actually playing a second grade teacher. Yeah, believe it or not. Knock on the Cabin. While vacationing at a remote cabin in the woods, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by 4 armed strangers who demand they make an unthinkable choice to avoid apocalypse. Confused, scared, and with limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they believe before all is lost. Boom. That's the premise of the movie. Literally, I had no idea this movie was coming out. I had no idea this thing was even, a thing until I turned on Vudu, an app that we have, one of the 10,000 streaming apps that we have that we're paying for. Maybe going back to the whole pirating thing. If you have any pirating hookups, maybe hit me up. Just playing. FBI, just playing. But man, Knock at the Cabin. This falls underneath the mystery horror film category. It's an hour 40 minutes. It felt quick. It felt like a quick movie. IMDb gave it a 6.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 67%, and Facebook users gave it a 3.1 out of 5. I give it a high 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was written really good. I felt like the acting on it was really good. Not to speak too highly of it. I know we've seen this type of movie before with The Knowing and things like that. There's a lot of religious symbolism in this movie, but when you talk about apocalypse, when you talk about world ending, that's typically what we see, right? But I feel like they did it in a way, Shyamalama Ding Dong, right? M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. I feel like he did this movie in a way where it was like you didn't really understand it at the top. Well, at least I didn't. I didn't understand it at the very beginning, and then as the movie's going on, and as people, I'm not gonna release any spoilers, but as the movie's going on, you start to learn a little bit more, and then he ties it all up at the end, and he does a really good job at it, man. But we all know what M. Night Shyamalan, what he does. He does a really good job at movies, at the films that he does. Knock at the Cabin, I highly suggest it. It is rated R though, so maybe not the best thing for kids. Not for like anything sexual or anything like that, but for violence. There are some gruesome scenes, I guess you would say. And on top of that, some of the natural disaster parts in the movie, kind of scary too. So just keep that in mind. Knock at the Cabin. Go check it out. Let me know what you think about it. All right. Maybe shoot me a voice note. Maybe shoot me a text, 385-240-4666. Another movie that we watched on Peacock this time. So if you got a Peacock subscription, you can watch this as well. Megan. So Megan is a marvel of an artificial intelligence, a lifelike doll that's programmed to be a child's greatest companion and a parent's greatest ally. Designed by Gemma, a brilliant robotanist, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't even know if that's a word. Megan can listen, watch, learn as it plays role as a friend and a teacher and a playmate and protector to children. Now, here's the thing. Megan, just like any other toy, doll, killer movie plot, goes rogue, right? And starts tearing up everybody. So there's no plot twist. There's no turns with this movie. When the doll goes evil, the doll goes evil, kills everybody, right? We've seen it with Chucky. We've seen it with Abigail, right? We've seen these things. Abigail a little different, right? More spirit. But with Megan, knowing what I was getting into, I still had an open mind to it. And the thing that made this movie dope is this is coming off of ChatGPT coming out, right? This is coming off of a micro mini drones being released into the wild, right? This is coming at a time where technology is at its highest. And every second technology evolves. And this thing right here, Megan, is not far off. This could be a reality. So looking at this movie, I had that in mind when I'm watching it. I'm like, damn, this thing could really happen. When we were growing up, Chucky, a doll coming to life, right? No way, right? What's the other movie with the killer doll, the little killer toys? I forget what it's called. Toy soldiers, right? No way. Toys will never come to life. But in 2023, it's a reality. This thing could happen. There could be an intelligence that keeps learning and learning and learning and learning and learning to a point where if you tell that doll, hey, protect my son, and he's your number one priority, that doll, if you get mad at your kid and you discipline your kid, that doll's going to protect that kid. Now, what does that look like? You could have a severed head. And Megan could do that. Because it's a machine, right? So if you think about a machine, think about how powerful machines are. Now you might be like, well, Dre, you just unprogram it or turn it off. Yeah. But what if the intelligence is so advanced that it knows how to turn itself off? On. What are you going to do? Megan, for that reason, I give it a high. Well, let's look at IMDb. IMDb gave it a 6.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes give it a 93. Super high, Rotten Tomatoes. Big scores for this. I enjoyed this movie. I would give it a low 4 out of 5. Maybe like a 3, maybe like a 3.6. Nothing where it was like it blew my socks off. It wasn't like I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I think when you talk about that category, I think that's a category in itself for like a nice bracket for those dolls or toys turned killers. Who's number one? Now you might be nostalgic, you might say Chucky, but Megan gets Chucky the fuck out of here. If they're battling, Megan gets him out of here. Don't play with her. Check out Megan. Let me know what you think. 385-240-4666. A TV series that is out right now on Peacock. It actually debuted earlier last month, January 26th. It's called Poker Face, and it's on Peacock, starring Natasha Lionel, I believe is how you pronounce it. Shorty from Lonnie. Shorty from Orange is the New Black. And another Orange is the New Black star, Dasha Palenko. She's in there as well. Benjamin Bratt, he's in there. Adrian Brody's in there. Really dope show. A mysterious week, a mystery. Oh my gosh. A mystery of the week series following Charlie Kell, who has an extraordinary ability to determine when somebody is lying. She hits the road in a Plymouth Barracuda, and she runs into different encounters, right? Every episode is a new encounter, and her ability to detect lies helps her solve issues, right? Murders. And I didn't see it coming. You don't see it really happening. You look at episode 1. Episode 1's like, oh, whoa, this is dope. It kind of gets you hooked. And then episode 2 is totally different. And it's like, what's going on? Like, episode 1's not bleeding into episode 2. Episode 2 is not bleeding into episode 3, like a normal series, right? But they do a really good job on the writing. The acting in it is pretty dope. It's literally the same lady that was in Orange is the New Black. I forget what they call her, but she's the crazy orange-haired girl that likes women, right? The one who gets busy in the church. Same chick. I feel like it's the same character. Her voice is the same. Her hair is the same. Her cadence is the same. Everything's the same. But obviously she's kind of like a little detective. I highly suggest it. IMDb gave it an 8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 99. I honestly really enjoyed it. It's in season, so they release it, I think, every Thursday. I believe it gets released. There's like 6 episodes out right now. Poker Face on Peacock. Tell me what you think. Let me know. I would give it a high 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this series.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted Podcast with DreRawka.
We are?
No, they are.
Yeah, oh, right.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and the Funk. G-Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Like, yeah, they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on the Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and be like, and yeah, man, hey, and they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G-Daddy Funk,
wow,
on the Lake Talk 801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
Karl Malone is a traitor. John Jones is the greatest of all time, but cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's your sports segment.
The Utah Jazz are 31-31 at the time of this recording. Tuesday, February 28th at 5:15 p.m. Your Utah Jazz are at an 8 spot. Now, why do I start off with the Utah Jazz? Well, I live in Utah. A lot of my listeners are from Utah, so that's why we start off with Utah. But looking at the top of the West Coast, the Nuggets are sitting at the one spot. The Grizzlies at 2. Kings 3, Suns 4, Clippers 5, Mavericks 6 with that new addition with Kyrie Irving. The Warriors jumped up to 7. Now, at the beginning of the season, I didn't think the Warriors were going to be that high. I thought Warriors would finish up around that 11th spot. But nope. Who's in the 11th spot? My Blazers, but we'll get there. The Utah Jazz sitting at 8. Timberwolves at 9. Pelicans at 10. Pelicans surprised me. Injuries suck. I feel bad for them. My Blazers sitting at 11th spot. And then following the Blazers, the Lakers, Thunder, Spurs, Rockets. When asked, hey, are you guys going to try to win? Or are you guys going to try to just, blow the rest of the season to try to, get your picks? When the Jazz were asked that, they said, no, of course we're going to try to play hard. Of course we're going to try to win games. And they have. Since All-Star Weekend, they've won 2 games. So they're not looking too shabby. But I think that's about to stop. That's about to stop. They'll probably get through the Spurs. But it's... I don't feel like the Jazz will end in that 8th spot. I think the Jazz probably will end around the 10, maybe even 11th spot for the season. Especially if Portland keeps on having games like they did against the Rockets on the 26th. So 131, 114 in a Portland Trailblazer victory. This is one of the greatest games that Damian Lillard has ever played. It was a 71-point game. He's a part of that hierarchy group of limited players that have had 70-plus games, tying Donovan Mitchell's record set earlier last year in this season. Damian Lillard went off, man. And Dame, all eyes are on Dame right now. He's coming off of that 3-point win with the All-Star game. He's coming off of a really good All-Star weekend, and he's coming off of the interview where he's like, yo, they're going to be sick if I win an NBA championship with the Blazers. Of how loyal he is, of how great this player is. Everybody and their mom is like, yo, Dame is that dude. When Dame time happens, it's for real. Shaq out there, or not Shaq, LeBron out there showing love. LeBron, go to Portland, please. Like, yo, if we had LeBron, if Dame and LeBron played together and they had another third, man, it would be lights out. But LeBron ain't going to Portland. The next move LeBron moves is going to be his last, and it's looking like that could be Orlando. It's looking like that could happen with him and his son, because Bronny's going to get picked up, and LeBron said he wants to play with his son before he retires, so Orlando might be the move. I don't know. But regardless, salute to my man Damian Lillard, dropping 71 of them things on him. Go Blazers. UFC 285 happening this weekend at a bar named 8136 South State Street for the pay-per-view. So if you want to come watch it, come on out. I have people all the time. It's like, yo, Dre, we should link, man. Okay, well, typically people hit me up. They want to be on the podcast, right? But I've never met them a day in my life. Just because you make music or just because you have a million followers on Instagram doesn't mean that the conversation's gonna flow or that we have anything in common. So I always tell people, hey, come out to the bar, come have a drink with me. If you don't drink, come have a bite to eat. If you don't eat, come drink some water. If you don't drink water, come just sit and watch the fights. You know what I mean? That's all I invite people out. They always say that. So this is kind of that moment or that opportunity too, because if that conversation goes good at the bar and I know you, now I'm like, yo, come over to the studio. Let's pod. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's have a good time. So come on out to a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street in Sandy. If you are in, or Midville, if you're outside the state, hey, maybe if you fly in, I'll get you a beer. Be an expensive ass beer, but hey, I got you. John Jones, Cyril Gahn. This is the main event of the evening. John Jones going up to heavyweight. John Jones being 26-1, the one an illegal elbow. Some people argue it. I say John Jones is undefeated, minus Gustafsson and minus, is it Rivera? No. Oh man, what was his name? Another fighter. I forget his name. Cyril Gahn coming in at 11-1. That one coming off of Francis Ngannou. I honestly think John Jones, but his body, he looks great. You know You know, I've been seeing him in his footage and whatnot. He looks great. He looks like he's in good body and mind. Ciryl Gane's just a physical specimen. I don't know what to think about this fight. We haven't seen Jon Jones fight in a while. We know Ciryl Gane has the kicks. We know that he's a kickboxer. We know what he can do. I don't know. Jon Jones just gets it quick, easy on the floor. I don't know if one shot can knock him out. I don't know how Jon Jones, his chin is. I'm honestly, we've seen a lot of people be dethroned this year, and even last year with Usman, Adesanya getting his loss against Pereira. Seeing there was a couple other fights that Volkanovski, right? Like these are fights that are just surprising fights where it's like, whoa, I did not see that happening. I think we might see that with this fight. Now, I'm a Jon Jones dick rider. I love Jon Jones, minus the stuff outside the cage, but hey, we're talking about sports. I gotta roll with Jon Jones. I can't go against my guy. Jon Jones will finish this fight, most likely with a knee to the sternum in a clinch, or a knee to drop him and he finishes it on the ground, probably rear naked choke, or guillotine, because I feel like Gane will give up his neck. The co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso. Gotta roll with my second favorite fighter of all time, Valentina Shevchenko. These are two of my favorites, right? Two of my top fives are on this card with Jon Jones and Valentina Shevchenko. Gotta go with Valentina. She hasn't looked the greatest in her last fights, but I gotta roll with the GOAT. I love Valentina. Let me know your picks, 385-240-4666, or even drop them in my stories. Yeah. Fierce Fighting Championship. If you're looking for something to do outside of coming to the fights on the 18th, you can go check out Fierce Fighting Challenger Series. This is number 4, Saturday, March 18th at Clearfield High. Doors open at 4 p.m. Fights start at 5. You can purchase your tickets right now at fiercefightingchampionship.com. Go check him out, man. Ruiz is fighting. He always puts on a show. A lot of good fights on this Challenger Series. You can get more information again at fiercefightingchampionship.com. Man, you know what sounds really good? Just some chips and salsa.
You want the best salsa ever? Get yourself some Sauce Up Salsa at sauceupsalsa.com. Fresh fire roasted salsa, fresh ingredients, fresh produce made just for you.
All right, that's it. That's all your bitch ass gets.
All right, that's all you get. Isolation20 Podcast, episode number 67. DreRawka, I am out of here. Hey, look, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Like, literally, the comments that I get, the shares, the tags, buying the shirts. Shout out to intern Billy. He just bought a shirt. I appreciate that. You don't even have to, but people, the support doesn't go unnoticed. And I know right now, sometimes as creators, we're like, damn, man, I put in so much work and I go unnoticed, or, I don't get no recognition. And I, for a long time, I had a chip on my shoulder because of that. But once I realized that, like, the world is so big and the internet is so huge, and the content that I put out isn't just for my block, isn't just for my city, isn't just for my state, isn't just for my friends, the world opened up, and a floodgate of you have been tapping in. Germany, shout out to my nephew putting the German folks on. California, New York is a big one right now. Texas, I've been seeing Houston and Austin and KB, I believe KB. My KB folks, I'm sorry if it's not KB. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I've seen all these, man. And then, of course, my Portland fam. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, hitting a review button. It does not go unnoticed, and I hope that my hard work doesn't go unnoticed to you either. Keep on supporting. We're just scratching the surface. We haven't even poked our head, out of the hole yet. We're still, our little stubble on our head is just peeking out, right? We haven't seen anything yet. So we just got to keep our head down, keep grinding, keep working. If you want to support, if you want to buy a shirt, buy a hoodie, because it's still hoodie season around the world, around the country, especially in Portland. Oh my gosh, man, you guys are frozen. And a lot of the nation is. So if you want a hoodie to keep warm, allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. You can go get your hoodies now, or even t-shirts. 3 new drops are up. The Thingy Thing t-shirts, the All Rock Media t-shirts, and latest ones. And then there was a third one. What was the third one? I forget. It was just unrestricted. But you can go check them out. Again, allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you go check out Unrestricted Podcast. I just dropped one with Jason Alvarado, who is a family man, husband, father, business owner of All Sports Mouth Guards. We had a really fun conversation. New friend of the show, so you might see him. You might see more ads come through for his business. So make sure you go support him and check out that podcast. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, man, I hope you all have the day you deserve. Always protect your light. We out. Peace.